much.
I never played the multiplayer in that game.
You never played Halo 3 multiplayer?
I was brought up with the Call of Duty, and so I only played the Call of Duty. That's all I did.
He has a Halo tattoo on his arm.
I do have a Halo tattoo, but it's mainly because the story is amazing.
Oh my god! Who am I hosting with?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 71 of Active Reload. We're actively reloading previous
hypothermia.
topics. Yeah, that's true, too. It's pretty cold in this recording studio. That's why he looks like he just came off of the
slopes
set of The Day After Tomorrow.
Once I warm up, I'll take it off.
You won't, though. It's going to be cold the whole time. And that's why we're both wearing jackets. And I'm probably wearing the exact same thing I wore last episode. But that's all right. I like wearing black. It's slimming. Okay? So don't judge me. Welcome to the show, episode 71. It's a big episode today, ladies and gentlemen. Not really, actually. It's kind of a dead episode.
These are my favorite episodes.
This is right before Thanksgiving, so there's not a lot that's happening news-wise, and there's not a lot of games coming up because in 1 week we get Indiana Jones.
Hi, welcome to Active Reload. You can, the Black Friday deals is at Walmart, and that's what the show would be.
Pro tip for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't shop Black Friday deals. They're usually a scam. That's how they get you.
That's not true.
Nope, it's true. They will use, well, let me put it this way. Electronically. Don't do Black Friday deals electronically.
Yeah.
Because usually they'll put like previous hardware into newer items over the case.
They're like, hey.
And say, hey, here's a brand new for half off.
The Unicorn Overlord.
That's how it works.
Collector's box or whatever that I really want is on sale for 20% off.
Yeah.
When a month ago it was on sale for 35% off.
Yeah. And for like TVs and monitors and stuff, you got to be careful because sometimes they'll put older equipment on the inside of the TVs / monitors.
Who doesn't? Walmart doesn't do that.
It happens. Well, it's not Walmart that's making it. It's Samsung and it's LG and it's whatever.
Yeah. You have something against South Korea?
No, I love South Korea. Hello, South Korea. Samsung. Hello. Best internet in the world. You can get drunk there and look a little red. I'm cool with that.
Look a little red. Oh, yeah, because of the allergy.
Yeah, they look. They kind of like change color. It's interesting. And I would outdrink every one of those fools because I weigh two of them.
But he's never drinking anything.
Yeah, but I weigh two of them. So
all right,
think about that. And sumo wrestler, but that's Japanese, isn't it? Never mind.
Yep,
I could be a Japanese.
Who's
I could be
racist
sumo
now.
No, that's not true. Speaking of Japan.
I was going to say, speaking of racism.
Speaking of Japan, let's just go ahead and start with the news. FromSoftware, ever heard of it? We've talked about FromSoftware probably every other episode on this show.
The perennial RPG maker right now.
Perennial and the Perennium. They're very good. They're very good. Perennial, very good RPG maker. Guess what? They might be getting bought out. It might be not all over, but it might be singularized by our good friends Sony.
This is funny because this was confirmed that Sony offered them something.
Yeah, so Sony, they proposed a buyout of the company. It's called the Kadokawa Corporation, which great name for a corporation that looks like they're going to try to create some sort of mutant animal.
Okay.
Like out of Alien. What are they, Weyland-Yutani?
Yeah.
Similar vibe here. But, you know, they're not bad people from what I can tell. But Kadokawa Corporation, they're the parent company of FromSoft. Sony proposed to buy them last week.
Is there a price on there?
It does not say a price, but the offer was confirmed to have been received by Kadokawa CEO Takeshi Natsuno on November 20th.
Okay.
And stated no decision had been made yet.
What do you think Sony offered them? What do you think they're worth? Oof, it's a tough one.
FromSoft?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of reputation, there's not a better company right now than FromSoft.
Dude, they churn out games every couple years.
Yeah, and they're all good.
They're all fantastic. Yeah. I mean, even a DLC that came out this year is nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, I mean, I wouldn't be stunned if it was $10 billion, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I wouldn't be, because are they worth more than Bethesda just as... from like a scope of its audience? Yes.
I think so.
I would say yes.
Now? Do kids like Bethesda anymore?
I mean, I like Bethesda, but that's not. I
How
understand,
much do you really like them?
In terms of what we're talking about, I understand what you're saying. Like, FromSoft makes a better product, just in terms of viability of the product and how well received the product always seems to be.
Their games seem to evolve way faster and more efficiently than Bethesda games.
Yeah, and I don't know. In terms of the reach, I mean, it gets over here. Western consumers love the Elden Ring franchise.
I don't understand the reach. These games are hard as nails. And
yeah, I mean,
they're really literally not for everybody, but everybody seems to play them and like them.
Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't be stunned if it was $10 billion.
Okay.
But I would say anything from $5 to $10 billion would make sense.
I would say don't sell.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Man, I would say $10 billion.
You want to get in bed with Sony right now?
I'd say
you want to make
sell.
You're going to make Elden Ring. I mean, they version 2.1 remastered 15 times.
Yeah, that's true. But they already kind of are. I think I saw that Sony owns 2% of the company already.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that if they were going to look at being purchased, I would hope that Kodakawa, the corporation, would at least stipulate we get creative control. Like, you don't touch us.
That's never going to happen. Not with Sony.
I think it would. Well, maybe not with. Well,
you know what? They cut that deal with Bungie, and it's bit them in their butt so bad.
Well, Bungie's also. I don't think Bungie's very good anymore either. They kind of do the BioWare thing.
You might be right. Yeah, I mean, I disagree, but it's hard to really argue against that.
Well, I mean, what else? I mean, they've just been doing Destiny 2 for the last since the acquisition.
They also brought them on to. Basically cut the knees off of other what are they called?
I can't remember the name of
ongoing games or whatever. The ones that the Sony wants, their initiative to make free to play, or what do you call that?
I can't remember it either. Our brains are literally freezing.
I know, it's cold in here. Whatever.
I almost called them
live service games.
There we go. I almost called them on demand.
I know.
What year is it?
And look what happened. Probably the game that was going to be a live service game, at least somewhat, was that Last of Us Factions.
Yeah.
And Bungie's infinite wisdom told Sony to cut it.
And the other one, Concord, literally dead on arrival. And
I think they greenlit Concord, which is, you know what? Concord wasn't that bad.
No, but it wasn't the reason it was bad. It was that nobody played it.
It was, I mean, it was 10 years too late.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. I don't know. To me,
$500 million over budget.
Here's what I'll say. I do think that they have a very good situation right now with Sony, in which Sony gets, early rights to all the Elden Ring games and whatnot. And the advertising sent through Sony and PlayStation and everything. So they get the little tag at the very end. Don't think that's bad.
The first game they would have to make is Bloodborne 2.
But if something, Bloodborne Remastered probably, is actually more probably up the alley. I'm nobody would hate that.
If you're going to make a sequel to a game, an older game, just remaster it, but don't spend too much time. Don't remake it. Don't do Dark Souls remake. Remaster it, have it running at 60, up it to 4K, and you're good to go. And then it'll drive interest, because fans of Elden Ring would love Bloodborne. Bloodborne is very honed in, awesome, H.P. Lovecraft-inspired Souls-like.
Yeah. Basically, just another Souls-like with a different name. Same with Elden Ring. That's all they are.
Yeah, true. But
they do very well.
One thing about Elden Ring is it has more Dark Souls into it, where you can change your character drastically and make him however you want. Mm-hmm. Bloodborne there's basically like 3 different types of weapons, and it's more in line with a Sekiro.
Okay, man, Sekiro too. They got to make the second one of that game too. They got to make a sequel to that.
Yeah, I played that the other day. Man, that game's
apparently the hardest one.
That is very hard. Oh, I played Black Myth Wukong. I forgot to tell you. I forgot to write it down.
You got to write that down.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I think I understand the hesitancy for a lot of people, but also if anybody's going to come forward with $5 to $10 billion offer, it's like nobody in their right mind is going to say no to that.
Either way, I think FromSoft is in the driver's seat. I think they should
Well, yeah, of course. Sony approached them, not the other way around.
Don't sell. I'm not a fan of it. Don't sell.
$5 to $10 billion. I'll say, you know what?
Is there anything going wrong? Are you not selling? Are you not?
I wonder how much
everything perfectly.
That sort of funding would probably boost a lot of what they do. Almost certainly.
I mean, really?
Yes.
Who does more than them? Sucker Punch does a lot.
Yeah, but nobody is approaching them, or nobody's bringing in that amount of money other than Rockstar on what they're actually selling.
Imagine Sony purchasing them for $10 billion and then making them do a live service game.
Dark Souls live service game? That sounds sick.
That'd be awesome. Hold on. Yeah, there might be something here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good luck.
I mean,
I'd say don't sell.
I'd say sell.
Sell.
It depends, but on the price, like $5 to $10 billion. Come in strong though, be like, hey, $15 billion, and then they drop you down to 10. You're chilling. You're happy with that.
I'm gonna start the.
I forgot to use the stopwatch. I'm sorry.
Start.
Also, in the news, moving on here. Do you guys remember a beautiful little game? One of the great games, ahead of its time, too, to be honest with you. One of the great games on the original Xbox, I would say.
Ooh, really? I don't know this.
Simpsons Hit and Run. I love that game. Are you going to say you don't like that game?
I like that game, but this is one of the games where nostalgia wins over. I had that game when it came out. It wasn't as great as everybody thought. It was at the time the best Simpsons. I'm about to piece
you up.
A 3D Simpsons game that wasn't made by Konami, because Konami made the old arcade ones, which were great. And it was pretty good. It was funny. It mapped out Springfield for the first time, I think. And that was interesting. But, I mean, that thing got real tired fast. It was like Crazy Taxi, but open world, and Crazy Taxi's 10 times better.
No, it's Crazy Taxi in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Written by a lot of The Simpsons and voiced by a lot of The Simpsons cast.
Hank Azaria.
That game was great, man. God, I love that game. But
it was funny.
It could have had multiple sequels as well. According to lead designer Joe McGinn, of formerly Radical Entertainment. He said that Radical Entertainment wanted to make at least one sequel, and they had the rights to 3 sequels with no additional licensing fee added to what they already had. So there could have been 3 extra Simpsons hit and run games, and someone at the publisher Vivendi Games said no.
They were publishing Bethesda games.
Yeah. I would say they made a mistake there, but if they're publishing Bethesda games, they probably were like, yeah, that was the right decision.
They're like, Morrowind sold a lot better.
Yeah, Morrowind did a lot more for the RPG genre. But I don't know, man. Simpsons Hit and Run, if they were to do, and they won't, because Simpsons is kind of dying. Not dying, I would say, but less people are watching The Simpsons than ever.
True, but I think Simpsons could handle a game kind of like a South Park game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe even a turn-based RPG like the South Park games.
If they wanted to, a little remaster on the old Simpsons Hit and Run, that would go quick. Feeding on the nostalgia thing, which I would be a victim of in that situation. I would buy the hell out of that game.
I have that game on PS2, and I have it emulated on one of my machines.
I have it on my. I still have my original Xbox One copy too, or Xbox copy.
Original, yeah. It's another topic. We could talk about Xbox terrible names. Christmas. A lot of people are asking me. Mm-hmm. Hey, I got my son this Xbox. What is it? And I'm like, oh, he has an Xbox One S. I have a Series X. They're like, well, which series is mine? It was like, you don't have a series. You have a One S.
Yeah.
Well, what is a Series S? Well, it's like a Series X, but
it's not as good, and it's a previous generation.
And you can get a 1X.
Yeah, you can get a 1X.
It's so hard to talk to people about this.
We make fun of the YouTube videos now, looking back on them, called for like the discussion of what this Xbox 720 would look like.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's got a better name if it's a 720. Nobody would have any confusion if it was the Xbox 720.
You know how that all started, before I get back to Hit and Run? That all started because Sony or Xbox, Microsoft, didn't want to compete with Sony PlayStation 3 with their Xbox 2.
Yeah.
So they called that a 360. Not thinking forward, what is the next one going to be called? Oh, the One.
Yeah.
You mean, we used to call the original Xbox the One. No, this is the one and only, because everything's going to run off this.
But it's not the one and only.
It was terrible. It looked like a VCR.
And you'd have the Kinect with it. Just one of the worst marketing campaigns of all time.
Imagine, like, 360 was on fire at the end of that generation.
Yeah, I know. 360. Also, that's a good name, too. I like the 360 as a title. I think it's fine.
This is okay.
It works fine. But you can't go. It's like the Battlefield problem.
Yeah.
They kind of got around it a little bit, to be honest with you. But you go from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1, it's like, what are we doing?
Technically, Battlefield, the original was 1942.
Yeah.
So going back to 1 being World War I, it kind of makes sense. But Xbox One is dumb.
Yeah. It's all dumb. In one package. And then some people in the marketing team were like, that's genius.
So you know what's better than a PlayStation 4?
I'm going to use this only for a Blu-ray player.
Xbox One. Wow. Anyways, hit and run. So I was going to say, I have a PlayStation 2 version. I have it emulated. I played it not too long ago with Odin, because Odin likes open world racing games. There's not that many of them.
And that's a good. It's
and he loves
not a terrible racing game.
He loves The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And he played it, and he got bored of it after a day.
Whatever.
But
he's a child.
That game is well loved.
That game's awesome. And here's what I'll also say.
It does suck that these guys could have had multiple sequels.
Yeah, I know. No kidding.
Because they would have gotten better.
It's radical, too.
Yeah.
And they would have been huge and not bought out by, I think, LucasArts. And then LucasArts not bought out by Disney.
Didn't Radical weren't they making Saints Row? Oh, that was Volition. Sorry.
No, it was Volition.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so radical.
No.
I will say, one of my favorite things about Simpsons Hit and Run is it feels like every vehicle that you're using feels unique to each character. Sure. And that's something that you can kind of get with like the Mario Kart games and everything like that. But for open world stuff, that's kind of unique to that game. Like there's not a lot of stuff. Like if you're playing any of the other like Saints Row, GTA, you can just take any car you want and then you can kind of make it your own. But when you're kind of soft locked to the one vehicle that you got per character, I think it makes it unique and adds to the world kind of.
Well, that was also at the height of the collectathon games. Open world collectathon games.
What does that mean?
Like, there's a lot of things like, oh, you saw the big shiny thing up in the air. Yeah. How do I get that? Then you go around and you try to find a way to get it.
I killed so many bees because the story in that game is a bunch of wasps are spying on you and you have to destroy them all. I destroyed so many wasps. So many.
The Simpsons is awesome. And
I love The Simpsons. Conan O'Brien used to write for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And I love Conan.
There's a lot of things you could do with that in video games. A lot.
Yeah.
I would love a Homer adventure game where Homer's just drunk, he wakes up somewhere, and he has to make his way home.
That's his adventure.
Yeah.
That sounds like there was a game that, who is the guy from Back to the Future?
Doc?
Yeah. He was in a game, and he's like a cartoon designer or something like that in the real world, and then... Spoiler alert.
Rick and Morty?
No.
What are you talking about?
No, he falls asleep and has a dream that he's in a cartoon world.
Oh, okay.
And then it's a like point and click adventure in this cartoon world where he's dreaming, and it's actually him mocapped. It looks really bad, but it's him mocapped, and for some reason he's wearing like a skin colored shirt, so it looks like he's just shirtless with a blazer on. Really funny. And it's him walking through a cartoon world, and there's a bunch of like adult jokes and everything like that, and that's the video game. Can't remember the name of it.
Oh, cool.
But
great story.
That reminds me of Simpsons Homer Adventure. Maybe that does exist. Or maybe that could exist in that world. I think that game came out like 20 years ago, though. So you're not getting Doc now, unfortunately. But, still.
Christopher Lloyd?
Christopher Lloyd! Yeah, that's his name. Great Scott!
Yeah. Dude, I love Back to the Future.
I've never seen Back to the Future.
Great Scott!
Let's move on.
That's your homework for this week.
I know. There's a lot of those movies I haven't seen.
Wow. Former Mass Effect veteran Casey Hudson's new studio. Remember, we did an episode on all these people making these new studios.
Yeah.
And I think all of them
are dead
now. Not all of them. 70% of them.
This one's dead. Humanoid Origin. That was the name of the company.
Yep.
We love to make weird names for companies like this, and Humanoid Origin was one of them. Casey Hudson was the lead, I think, and he was supposedly working on a AAA sci-fi game in the vein of Mass Effect, if you will, and it has been shut down. He announced it on LinkedIn, which I hate that LinkedIn has just kind of turned into this place where we make posts like this.
I hate that too.
LinkedIn's the worst app on planet Earth. I wish we would just, who should buy that? FromSoft, and just do something else with it.
I think I mentioned on LinkedIn, I was trying to clean up my old social media stuff or old work stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw a bunch of posts and I wanted to post this. I'm like, man, if I told you guys my feelings, like everybody's explaining their feelings or showcasing their like LinkedIn. It's a diary, I would never get hired.
Yeah, well, it's LinkedIn. Like, no one cares. But you're posting on LinkedIn.
That's why I was baffled.
Why did LinkedIn become a social media site?
All these like former colleagues of mine were
Weird.
writing in their diary, and I had to read it or something. It's just,
yeah.
What am I doing? I was just looking.
Just make it a job service site again. What are we doing? I don't need to hear about your grind harder stuff on LinkedIn. All right, I get it. Wake up and grind. Yeah, all right. You got a job. Very cool, man.
Yeah, you got a job.
Get out of here. I'm looking for a job.
Before I got this job, I was doing a lot of freelance through LinkedIn, and I would say about 60% of them were fake.
Really?
Scams, yeah.
Interesting. Wow. We don't like LinkedIn around here.
No.
But Casey Hudson, he posted on LinkedIn. He said, yeah, it's all over. It's all Jover. Lack of funding. They're not making any, they're not getting any money.
How about you aim a little lower than Mass Effect? Like, I know you're BioWare, but...
Right. Well, it used to be BioWare. Yeah.
But you have the chops, but you're not going to have the scope and the money for like a Mass Effect sci-fi game.
Well, you know what you could
do? You can kickstart.
Bingo. And then make as much money more than God. And then you can buy FromSoft. That's what will happen. Just kickstart.
Imagine FromSoft with like a dialogue tree where you smack a reporter.
Yeah. But it's all really bad. Like mocap, like the newer BioWare games. And it looks really goofy. Yeah. Ugh, God. Yeah, this makes me sad because I wish those BioWare people that ended up leaving would make some... Because Mass Effect 3, I got into a big argument with my brother about this.
Really? He just called. Shout out to Will.
Shout out Will. I got into a big argument about this, about the ending of Mass Effect 3 and how pre-DLC, it felt like you were still kind of left with this big hole in your heart because you're like, this is a bad ending.
I like how you call it DLC. Ended. It wasn't really a DLC. It was a patch.
Right. But that's what I mean is I played it pre-patch DLC.
Yeah.
DLC pre-patch. And I was like, wow, this feels awful. Yeah. I don't like the way that I feel right now. I hope they make something else. And it doesn't have to be Shepard, but something else in that Mass Effect universe to kind of make me feel better. And then they patched it, and it does fix the ending a little bit, or add more context to the ending.
More things to talk about, I guess.
Right, but it still was kind of like weird.
It was a not a great decision.
No, it was not.
But either way.
And so then when BioWare started, basically all these people started leaving BioWare. It was like, oh, we're never going to get that. And then we got Mass Effect Andromeda, and then I was like, oh, wow, we're really not going to get that.
I wish I would have looked up your notes here, your show notes, because I would have grabbed, because I save all of these. I would have grabbed the old one when we talked about those studios that were being newly formed.
Yeah, there's probably
and we could have. There was like 12 that we talked about. There was definitely more.
I think we talked recently about one of them too. Yeah. I don't know if they closed, but it was something related to it.
But we could have gone and checked them off. Nope, gone.
We should do that like next episode, honestly. Now that you thought about that.
Well, all these, I mean, come on. Don't make an indie game first.
Yeah.
Get your feet wet.
I mean,
don't just jump in.
Yeah.
Well, who are you?
Well, that's probably, they're like, I was one of the makers of Mass Effect.
Guys.
Yeah.
My name is Casey Hudson.
Which, by the way, sounds like a fake name.
I don't want to rag on that guy. Maybe I'm sure he's really good, but.
It's probably great.
It sucks that his studio went down.
Yeah. Maybe he'll make something else. Hopefully he does. Don't get into finance. All right? Just keep making video games, please.
Make a small game first.
Yeah, make something small. Make a Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, planes, trains, and automobiles, but in sci-fi.
Never seen it. All right. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen. That is
welcome.
It. Really not a lot going on.
I have so many games to play. I'm playing, but we're doing...
games releasing this week. I did want to point out really quickly something that I thought was really funny that I saw. I don't know how 100% confirmed it is, but I saw it on a pretty reputable site. I think it was GameSpot or Video Game Chronicle or something like that. Mentioned that a Windows 11 upgrade or update to Windows 11 recently is going to brick a bunch of older Ubisoft games. And I'm not talking older. I'm talking like Valhalla is going to break because of a Windows 11 update. And there was another one in there that I was like, what? That game came out 5 years ago? No, not even. 3 years ago?
That's funny. I just got a notice saying that they're not going to keep updating my Windows 10.
Yeah, same.
And I was like, wow, that's funny because my computer isn't even allowed to be updated to 11.
I can't upgrade to 11 yet either.
Thanks,
Microsoft.
Bill Gates.
We need Linux. Help us, Linux. Okay, anyways.
If you're savvy... can't go wrong with Linux.
You can.
I mean, if you're tech savvy.
Speaking of Linux, one of the games coming out this week is called Glitch Hero. Ever heard of it? Me neither.
Yeah.
November 28th comes out Friday after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, on the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, and Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
No PS4?
Nope. No, it does PS4 too. It does PS4 too. But the reason I pointed out Linux is because this game is a 2D adventure exploration game with puzzles where it's casually teaching you the basic coding concepts.
That's cool. It's like Typing for the Dead or Typing of the Dead.
But typing's a little more like... Typing, that's a cool game, though.
Such a good game. I know. One of my favorites.
It's awesome. But, like, the idea of teaching... I'm thinking this is more of like a kid's game. And they're like, hey, kids, learn about coding. And actually, we're not going to give you the option. You're just going to learn it in your subconscious as you're playing this video game. That weirds me out a little bit. I'll be honest with you. Not that I hate this game. It could be a great game. But I'm also like, why can't you just make a game that's a game? Don't teach me coding.
How about, why don't they make a game they want to make? It sounds like exactly what they want to do.
You know what? You're right. But here's the thing. You put one bad asterisk in the wrong spot, you die.
That's cool.
In the game. How about that? And then little Odin over here, your son, is like, I don't know what I did wrong.
Teach you.
Here, let me teach you coding.
Whatever. That sounds cool. Glitch Hero.
By the way, coding is one of the things that you can look at and nobody should look at and be wanting to do.
Some people do.
Coding, I don't know people that enjoy coding.
I know people that do.
I respect the hell out of the people that do. You're very important. I think you have one of the most important jobs in the world.
I had a friend.
But it looks awful.
I had a friend in San Francisco. I guess he's still my friend. But when I used to live there.
Hopefully he doesn't watch. I guess he's still my friend.
No. I mean, no. I just haven't talked to him in like 5 years. But he was a writer, like a journalist.
Oh, cool.
For, I can't remember it, San Francisco Chronicle, I think.
Yeah.
And he hated that job. Hated it. Hated being near anybody who worked at that place.
Okay.
And
is this the beginning of
Zodiac?
So
he got into coding because at the bar that I worked at, there's a bunch of coders in there, a bunch of tech guys, and he just became friends, and then he just started doing it. So he's really good at putting his nose to the screen and just learning and writing, staying up all night, basically. And a couple of years later, he was coding for a biotech firm, and he loved it.
Dude, I
don't get it. He was an
it.
Extremely smart guy.
Yeah. Hey, you have to be really smart to understand a lot of the stuff that's going on in those.
Yeah.
Especially if you're coding for a biotech company.
Imagine being really smart and having to work at San Francisco Chronicle.
Yeah, that's true. That's like Zodiac. Yeah. Movie. Your friend was in Zodiac. All right. So yeah, that's a game that's coming out. Glitch Hero. You know what? It could be a really good game. I don't know. But it's just odd. I don't know. Coding, I've never wanted to learn coding, ever. But more power to you if you do. And if you learn it from starting Glitch Hero, that'd be insane. Next one, Snow Brothers Wonderland. This is apparently...
Why did you even put this down?
This is apparently a long series.
Yeah, Snow Bros.
Snow Bros, yeah. That's what I said.
You know who they are? You ever played a Snow Bros game?
No.
Arcade game?
No, they're the Mario Bros, but in snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With skis.
Next. No, they come out November 28th. PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. It's a retro 3D platformer for me, anyways.
It's a 3D platformer. Okay.
Reminds me a little bit of Little Big Planet. Does that fit?
No. The Snow Bros is like Mario Brothers.
I felt a little too on the nose, though, because they're like literally Snow Bros. That's the whole thing.
Whatever.
A little too on the nose. A little too on the nose for Snow Bros.
And what the heck is this next game?
Anton...
You put the worst games releasing this week.
It's either
these are supposed to be notable.
It's either Anton Blast or Atom Blast. I could have put the wrong thing down, but I think it's Anton Blast. Atom Blast.
Oh, I'm thinking of No, I'm thinking of the game that we saw, it's almost like a Skyrim game.
Facts. No, okay, no, it's not this.
Okay.
This game, it's a 2D. I'm telling you right now, this is what's coming out this week. Okay.
All right, thank you.
I was scraping the bottom of the barrel.
You don't have to.
Not that these are going to be bad games.
Nothing's coming out.
Not that these are bad games, but I wrote this last one because I think it's kind of funny. 2D action destruction platformer in sort of like a graffiti art style, or something you'd see on a marijuana dealer's van. That's kind of what it looks like. Or like in the Courage the Cowardly Dog game, if there was a game Courage the Cowardly Dog. It looks like that. Kind of cool. Interesting art style. Of the 3 games that I was looking at here, this one looks the coolest, just visually anyways. But it is a 2D platformer destruction. Listen, It's Thanksgiving week, one. They're like, we're not going to release. Nobody that's smart wants to release anything.
Yep.
Two, it's 1 week before Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle comes out. That's probably going to do a lot of money, and we just want to get out of the way of that, and that's why they're doing that.
No, here's something you missed big time. It's not really a full release. That's why you missed it. But Path of Exile comes to beta. It's
a beta. I don't want to announce a beta.
But it's a big boy beta. It's huge, and it's on December 2nd. For PC only, but these games come to console eventually. But if you have a PC, definitely check it out.
Tell me about Path of Exile 2 beta.
It's a Diablo clone. The original Path of Exile was amazing when it came out. Did they support that game for years.
Mm-hmm. How long ago did it come out?
Ooh, probably almost a decade ago, I guess. 8 years ago.
Okay. Was it PC only or also came to console?
It came to consoles, yeah.
Okay. So Xbox One.
Then I think it was Grinding Gears games, I think.
Don't these names, man.
But they were bought out by our favorite Chinese
EA
buyout people.
Oh, Tencent.
Yeah.
So
now it's 100%
making...
owned by Tencent, but fantastic game. I think they're Australian, the developers.
They're making Path of Exile 2. Tencent.
Yeah, and check that out, man. That trailer looked fantastic. There's an insane amount of gameplay videos. It's
a beta, though.
Yeah, it's not a full release, but check it out. It looks like Diablo, like a true successor to Diablo.
Well, what does that mean? We have successors to Diablo called Diablo 1 and 2 and 3. Or Diablo 2 and 3.
3 and 4 are not so great.
And 4, yeah.
Not so great. This one's better.
You're telling... Okay, hold on a second.
Path of Exile is a better
I got to ask you something here.
game than Diablo 4.
You're comfortable with saying that you think post-Tencent acquisition that this game is going to release better than the first one? Going to be better than the first one? I would say negatory.
I'm going to say
100% owned by Tencent too?
Free-to-play game too? Yeah.
It's not coming out in China.
It's not coming out in China?
I don't know.
Sure it is.
I would
what are you talking about? Why would Tencent
not
buy it if they don't want to hit their market? What are you doing?
They own part of Call of Duty. Call of Duty does not come out in China unless it's heavily doctored.
But the Call of Duty Mobile comes out in China. The Call of Duty
Mobile.
There is a China version of Call of Duty.
Yeah, but it's all...
I forgot what it's called.
I'm pretty sure it's all like illegally... Or illegally owned items that you can do.
Maybe. I don't know. There's no IP laws over there. So I could be wrong. But...
Shout out the Ip. Shout out Winnie the Pooh. I might die because of that.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I might die because of that.
Oh, boy. Nah, this is America, baby.
Yeah, he doesn't care about Sheridan, Wyoming. Oh, no!
Who cares?
I gave my location.
Good luck. All right.
Man, what if this just blows up and then I blow up? All right.
Fine. Games we're playing. Can I
go ahead.
Just
Look, guys, here, hold on. Really quickly, let me preface this by saying Grant's only going to go with games he's playing this week because I am pathetic about this and I haven't played really anything. So
I'm going to ask you some questions.
Grant, go nuts.
Okay, I've played a lot because last week we couldn't talk about the games we were playing because we did all the nominations and that was a big deal. All right. I'm playing, let's start with Stalker.
Stalker 2, big release.
Okay.
And lots of copies sold too, like 15 million, I think.
Really?
So pretty close.
So I like this game. I like the original Stalker games somewhat. Eurojank for sure. Now, everybody was talking about the bugs in this game. I got it the day it came out. I downloaded the day it came out, and it came with a big patch. So I started playing the patch on Xbox. I didn't really come across that many bugs other than visual bugs like boxes flying across like if you go near a box and hit it with your foot, it'll just fly into the horizon.
Big mosquitoes.
Funny things like that where some characters their pathing would look funny, like they'd be walking backwards. But you're in the zone, which is filled with anomalies. So every glitch I saw fit into the atmosphere.
It felt like it was an anomaly.
Yeah, because you come
that's
across...
how they get around it.
Probably. But I'm a little disappointed in this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
It's just not. It's you know how they say walking simulators for some games? This is a running simulator. You are running 90% of the time. You're just running.
Playing Stalker. That sounds like Stalker.
And then you come across things, throw your bolts at them. Stalker. Don't get caught. You get killed really fast. The gunplay is fantastic, and when you get into firefights, it's awesome. But I wish they were in like a Trepang corridor than an open world vast open world where there's not a lot of anything in it than anomalies.
Are there any? Because I remember one of the things in the original Stalker was you had areas that you would load into, and then exits you would load back in. Do you know what I mean?
No, maybe.
Or is it all? I think it's all
open world. There's
I like that a lot
prologue.
more because I hate the way that's set. Because I mean, obviously they're working with what they had in the time.
Yeah,
I don't blame them for that. But going from different open worlds where there's not a lot of like pause or you're going into an area, pause, get another big area. Now, anyways.
Well, that was kind of a trend back then. Eastern European developers used to do. Polish developer CD Projekt Red with Witcher 2 did the same thing.
Yeah.
It was an open world, but there was like 3 big areas that you get to story-wise, and then you could do whatever you want within them.
In Stalker, it wasn't, I think it was like 5 big areas that you...
Yeah. Well, I can't... All of them blend into each other because they're all like 3 games.
Right. Oh, well, yeah, too. It is weird. Yeah. Dang it. I was going to ask you something about
Do I
Stalker
like
2.
it?
Do you like it?
I've only played about 4 or 5 hours into it, and then I've already uninstalled it. Sorry.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you play it on PC or Xbox?
Xbox. I'm not going to touch that thing with my PC.
Yeah. Here's what I will say about... I haven't played it yet. I want to play it. I'm probably going to play it over the Thanksgiving
weekend. You might like
weekend.
it. I mean, I understand why people really like this game.
Yeah. But you're telling me in the year 100, or you're telling me in the year 2024.
Glasses off.
154 gig download on this game? Have you lost your mind? What are we talking about
That's
here?
why I deleted
154 gigabytes for this game? That's bigger than GTA. Bigger than Red Dead 2. Well, what's in there? Are you?
There's a lot of assets in there. There's a lot of movable parts.
Buy dinner for me first if you're gonna bang my my hard drive like that.
Excuse me?
154 gigs. Wowzers! I almost uninstalled it right then when I saw that. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I got other things I gotta do.
There's I wasn't gonna get to it, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna keep that much space on my hard drive just being occupied by a game that I'm not digging that much.
And they still they're still got patches to do too.
Yeah, there was updates already. There's been 2 updates.
And it doesn't even apparently
it runs fine.
I've seen poor performance in performance mode from a couple of different areas. I've seen 40 FPS stuff. I've seen 0 FPS where it just freezes for like 5 seconds.
Oh, I can tell you right now, it defaulted to performance mode.
Yeah.
And it was running. It wasn't running that low, but definitely 50 to 60, 45 to 55.
Mm-hmm.
When I put in quality mode, the graphics didn't look that much better. It seems like on the Xbox version, I'm talking about the Xbox version, it seems like there's an anti-aliasing problem. On quality mode, there still was anti-aliasing problem. It's shimmering everywhere. And so I
hate that.
And there's absolutely 0 as of now.
Can't turn it off or something?
There is no motion blur for the 30 frame version. Okay, I don't know if let me just explain this. If you're running a modern game in 30 frames and you don't have an FLV slider and you turn off motion blur by default, the game looks like you're playing a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah.
And so I turn motion blur off on my PC games that are running well over 60 frames because you don't need it. Motion blur you need on 30 frames. You definitely need it. Yeah. And the way they turn it off.
It masks you. It helps it mask the frames.
Otherwise, it does this.
Stuttering.
Whoops, sorry.
Nice one, dude. Mark it. Okay, well, Stalker 2. I'm going to play it. But, man, I'm not... If it doesn't really grasp me early on, it's not staying there at 154 gigs for very long. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, let's... kind of the same blood, but I was next playing with my boys, Deuce Dangle. And,
shout out the boys.
PBR Smasher. They have a podcast called...
I love peanut butter.
I was on their podcast guest. They have a podcast called Not Married to the Name. They're awesome. They talk about gaming stuff and everything that you could think of. You should check them out. But we played Tarkov Arena. Not Arena Breakout.
That's the name of it. We couldn't remember the name of it.
The ripoff of Tarkov, which is pretty good, apparently. I'm talking about Tarkov Arena. They're basically their arena multiplayer mode. It's gone through many iterations, and it's only been out for a year. Came out with a patch a couple weeks ago. Changed a lot. Played it. There's a domination game mode. Love it. There's a diffuse game mode a la Counter-Strike, Search and Destroy.
Was it
pretty good too? Was
it Escape from Tarkov or Tarkov Arena that had the big backlash? Probably about a year ago.
Oh, you're talking about the it's called the EOD version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Escape from Tarkov or Tarkov Arena that did that?
I think no.
Or it was a carryover.
It was carrying over. The problem was that I think if you paid the $100 version, you were promised to get Arena, but it turns out you can't do that now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So there's like a $250 version now instead of $100.
So
I don't really know.
Have they recovered from that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I think Deuce would say yes.
Okay, all right.
And it was fun, man. I love that game. I love this game. Arena's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's just like Tarkov. A lot of different variations. You can change your shoulder or where your gun is at. You can lean a million different ways, walk a million different ways. It's just fun. It's a very hardcore game. And it's fun to play in a Call of Duty style map.
Okay.
Or more like a Counter-Strike style map.
Hardcore game for hardcore gamers.
Yeah. And it's fun.
That's all we talk about.
I highly recommend it. It's probably $20. It runs okay now that my graphics card is better.
New graphics card for this guy. Congrats.
It was running terrible.
That might as well be the price of an engagement ring.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, probably more.
Especially now, yeah. Bitcoin's at $120,000.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I just wanted to shout that out because I think that game is great. I think it's definitely one of my favorite games or multiplayer games of the year. It came out last December, and I didn't really start playing it until January. And then I played it for about a month. Then they did wipes, and they used to have a way of, it was like a class-based game that you unlock classes by tier. And now it's almost open. You can create your own class. And I think it's what most people do. I haven't noticed it, but it might be gearing towards a meta style play. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Where everybody's gonna have the same gun, same armor, same stuff because it's the best. But I haven't noticed that. From what I've played, everybody has different stuff. But I've only played for about 4 hours, 5 hours so of this new version of Arena. It's gone through 3 now.
What else?
What else am I playing?
What else
you might like this one, dude.
Hit me with it.
I'm playing I played the demo, PlayStation Plus subscribers, I guess, premium.
Okay.
Got 2 hours of Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, yeah.
And I played it.
Well, was it good?
Holy crap, man. That game is fantastic. I hope I get it for Christmas. Because, wow, dude, that game is great. Although, yes, I did come across graphical problems constantly. So there's a lot of areas where I switch it to quality.
Yeah.
And there's like a quality mode, 30 FPS. There is a 60 FPS mode. And there's something in the middle, like a 45. And supposedly it works with VRR, variable refresh rate, if you have those on your TV. I do. So I started that one first, and man, it looked and controlled awful. I had to turn that off. Went back to performance mode, loved it. The graphics are so good. I had to put it on quality mode a couple times because, man, the graphics and the music and everything, the visualness of this game is fantastic. The difficulty was not nearly as difficult as I thought. I played 2 hours straight. I beat 3 bosses, a couple optional bosses. The optional bosses I died to. The other ones I beat. They were hard, but I beat them. It was cool. I really like the gameplay of this game. I like the fighting style. It does feel somewhere in between a Souls game and a Devil May Cry or God of War.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
But I like it a lot. The music is so good.
Ooh.
And
you're getting me there.
Graphics are. I love how they have the level design is fantastic. It feels way more open than it actually is. There are a lot of invisible walls. Didn't bother me at all because there's enough places to go. There are some places where like, oh, I want to jump and climb this. I'm like, oh, invisible wall. It doesn't seem like there should be one here, but it's pushing you somewhere else, and you should appreciate because there are gameplay change-ups constantly throughout this game. It never gets boring. I played it 2 hours straight without even blinking. It's fantastic.
That's a record.
I can't wait to get this game. It's going to be great.
Wow. All right.
So
after everything you said about Black Myth Wukong beforehand.
No, I didn't say anything bad. I will say that you can see that, especially in the boss design, there's some Bloodborne bosses in there.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I fought a Bloodborne boss.
That would make sense.
And a couple other things that were iffy. I really, really like this, which I've never seen in a game. When you come across the regular peons in the game, like the territories, I was fighting like these wolf guys in the beginning. They actually talk to you. Like, oh, there's that guy. Like, we were told he was coming. He's coming now. Fight him. Stuff like that. They don't just walk up to you and start fighting you because you walked in front of their path or something. They actually anticipate you coming and they talk about it, and it's awesome.
Cool.
At first, I had it in Chinese because the mouthing is off, definitely for English. But that doesn't bother you. I switch it back to English because all the dialogue that the little peon characters are talking, it's fantastic. It's really good for lore building. It's lore building everywhere. The menu is fantastic. Everything's great about this game. Top notch game. All the praise is worth it.
I can't believe you.
What was I supposed to say?
You've said horrible things about this.
The only horrible things I said was I read that it was running terribly on PS5.
Probably was.
And it's been, I don't know, 5 months.
Yeah, true.
So
no, not 5 months.
They came out in the summer, like early summer, right?
I think 2 months.
Okay, I don't know. It's been enough time where there's been patches. And don't do the 45 frame mode. Don't do that.
Anybody who's like, I'll do 45 frames. You're weird.
Well, some VRR TVs will handle it better. I don't know how they do it, but they handle it better. But if you're moving a lot, especially the camera, if you're hitting the right joystick,
it's a 3D.
You'll start to see
or
images.
third person. It's a third person game. You're always moving the camera.
Yes, but you'll see like a 3D effect where there's images behind another image, and it's not
vile.
It made me like get a little sick.
Next,
are you ready to talk about what I'm playing next?
Yes.
Wow.
I surely am.
Jeez, I'm playing a lot of games. So I don't know if you've ever played Operation Flashpoint. The old 360 game.
I think you told me to play that game.
The Dragon Rising is one I told you. It's very realistic. I played that. I like that game a lot. I always go back to it. I forgot that I had it on PC, and I was playing it on my new TV, which takes under resolution games, like it's a 720p game, and it upscales it a little bit with a little bit of lag to it, but not enough to bother you since it's a realistic game. You don't really stop and pop and shoot and run and slide and dive and everything. You just shoot from very far away.
You shoot from cover.
Yeah, and it's cool. I like this game a lot, and it reminds me of like old school war movies, like not old school, but
better times.
Early 2000s were war movies, like the movie Shooter with
that is the worst example you could have used for that situation.
Other movies that are kind of like that. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's a whole bunch of them. Born Identity type of games.
Shooter's
or
a
movies.
Crazy pick.
That movie's not very good.
No, it's terrible.
But it reminded me of it.
It's not terrible. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
Bob Lee Swagger. That's his name.
Yeah, and I recommend that game. It's backwards compatible on Xbox Series X and One and all that stuff. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that might surprise you. Horizon Zero Dawn, that remaster.
Wait, what? Did you buy it?
No, it was $10. Yeah.
Because you had the right. Is it
played
great?
it, checked it out.
Guess what? It's the same game.
It is the same game.
Wow.
Although they do, like I said, they do kind of change up the dialogue. I don't know what you would call it. It's like when you talk to a character, they put you in a camera,
right? The
mode.
Over the shoulder camera,
and it's cheesy. But I will say the dialogue is 1,000 times better than the newer one, Forbidden West. And I will say I like the intro.
Intro's so good. I love the intro.
The intro of Forbidden West was awful. It took me like a year to figure out, like, to get past it without.
I would see. I like the intro, but the intro on the first one definitely.
It was really good.
Really good.
Once you start to going into the open worlds, it really starts to be fun.
Yeah, it really ramps up. You can find Mile High Stadium in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the football stadium that you go to.
Oh.
That is it's part of a story mission, but it'll give you the detailed breakdown of it, and it's very clearly Mile High Stadium.
I was in
of course,
Rocky Mountains?
You're in Denver, essentially. Yeah, but it's like, Denver, Utah, and everything put together.
Cool.
So there you go.
So I played that. I thought it was good. I haven't uninstalled it, so I might continue.
Wow, got better treatment than Stalker 2.
And then another VR game I'm playing.
Metro.
Nope.
Oh,
I really want to play that. It's been getting really good reviews.
you got to play it. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to throw up.
It's a little too scary.
Oh, come on.
VR is scary, dude.
I don't disagree. The thing that scares me about VR is when I'm standing there and I'm moving, I can feel my stomach churning. And then it's really scary because like I'm about to blow chunks all over my couch.
That you've been playing VR for almost a year and you're still getting sick?
No, it's more like I'm not used to moving yet. Because I don't do a lot of it, like moving with my left thumbstick
like
and
exercising, which brings me to Thrill of the Fight Part 2. The very first VR game I've ever bought with my own money was Thrill of the Fight 1 on MetaQuest. And I love that game. So when Part 2 was announced, it is an early access game, so I bought it $10. It doesn't let you play anything other than multiplayer, because there's now a multiplayer component to the game. I didn't know that. I should have read it, but... So I played multiplayer, and yeah, it's fantastic, but the multiplayer shenanigans are everywhere. I was dominating this guy. It feels real. Hold on, let me start over. It feels great when you get into a ring in VR and you see the other guy and he's like waving to you and you're going to fight him. And he puts his hand out and I touched gloves with this guy and it was great. There was great feedback everywhere. And then I absolutely dominated this guy. And then it was 3 rounds, and then we get to the judges' scorecards, and this dude won every round, and he had about 4 times more damage than me.
Sounds like
and I was like, you know what? I do not remember getting hit by this guy one bit. He did happen to get inside, but there's no grappling or hugging type of component in this game. So if you get too close, the ref breaks you up. And I get lost where he was. I didn't know where, he goes into your body. And I think what he was doing was hitting body punches when he was in there, rapidly. And there was no feedback that I was getting hurt. And so when I started playing more games, I realized that there is now a meta to this game. To win, you basically just do that. And it sucked big time. And another one, I was fighting this guy, and he had his jab out just like this, and you can't knock his hand down. The first one you can. This one you can't parry a hand.
Early access.
So it was completely broken. The game is 100% completely broken, not even close to being a finished product.
That's the unbeatable boxing strategy. Just hold your jab out. How do they get around that?
It's like, you can't come near me. And so it was just disappointing, but I got some exercise in. Definitely sweated. I cleared the room. You can move with the left joystick now. You couldn't do that in the first one.
Oh, man.
It does get you a little sick
I'm going to vomit.
So I went in the basement, cleared the whole thing out, and I just mapped the whole basement. I was able to walk from one corner to the other corner.
How big is it? Like 6 foot by 6 foot? Because that's what they tell you in the first one.
Oh, it was probably bigger.
Okay.
And so it was fun being able to move. I tripped over my dog. My dog kept biting my ankles because she thought I was playing with her or something. I don't know. But it was really interesting seeing a boxing ring that you can move in 3D space and actually avoid punches and stuff like that. Although there is, you would call this cheesing, right?
Nice. True.
Everywhere.
Cheesing.
Cheese everywhere.
You already did meta pun, which is funny. Well done.
Dude,
There's a meta
I'm
in
hip
that
with
game.
the new crowd, bruh.
Nobody that's hip with the new crowd says they're hip with the new crowd.
Dude, I'm like that meme, the Steve Buscemi meme.
Yeah. How's it going, kids? Or what does he say?
I don't know. Fellow students or fellow kids. Fellow young
fellow
people.
Kids?
And are you really not playing anything? It's just me talking about the games I'm playing?
That's all I play is nothing right now.
And I have one final game that I'm going to talk about, and I'm done with.
Okay.
Call of Duty.
Me too.
I'm done with that game.
That's what I've been playing. Pretty much.
I can't.
They've dropped ranked?
I've gotten to the point in my life where...
You're too old now, man.
This game is... I'm so annoyed with this game and the mechanics in this game. It's at the point where we were during Black Ops, 3? Yeah. Where there's jetpacks everywhere. And by the time this came out, everybody was like, oh, I'm really sick of jetpacks. I'm really sick of sliding, slide canceling, jumping, diving. I'm really sick of that. Unless it's in a different game, that Omni movement, which I think is awesome. Unless that's in a different game, I'm never coming back to
You got to go
game.
back to Valo, man. You're too old for this.
Yeah, Valorant is the younger than Call of Duty.
You're too old for this now, man. The movement's too much. The eyes don't work like they used to.
No, I can still nail it.
I'm almost too old for it.
I'm done with that type of gameplay, man. And the fact that there's SBMM everywhere and there's potential. Have you seen the potential damage? Mm-hmm. What is it called? Social damage
I don't
thing.
know.
There's something going on. There was a patent filed by Activision not too long ago where they just take a skill damage based multiplier or multiplayer mode or something.
Multiplier mode?
Damage based
multiplier?
Matchmaking.
Oh.
Sorry. Where it's based on the damage you do in the game. Okay. I don't know. There's so much shenanigans. I don't believe it. It's possible, but now I'm thinking of it. Yeah. So every time I get into a new lobby, I'm like, are these going to be bot lobbies? Are these going to be sweat lobbies? What is going on? Can I just stay in the same lobby? Why can't I stay in the same lobby? Mm-hmm. Why do I have to load a new game constantly? Everything about this game is incredibly annoying.
I'm having fun with it. I enjoy
play zombies, I'm sure.
I play zombies a lot. I enjoy zombies. But I've liked the multiplayer that I've played for the most part. But the SBMM, I think people forget it's not for, like, anybody that's aware of it means it's not for you. It's for the people that are getting it this come 25 days from now.
Yeah, and I understand. So that's part of the reason these games are not for me anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to get the Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm not going to get Call of Duty 4, It's not going to be like that anymore.
Unless they remaster it again. If they were owned by Sony, they already would have.
Like, I just know what they would do is that you wouldn't be able to stay in the same lobby. You can't talk to people. It's just like the social aspect is gone. The crap talking is gone. I mean, it's still there, but it's more annoying. Like, I have to mute everybody now.
I'm one of the... I feel like... I guess I'm in the minority for this. I never thought that talking in the lobbies was fun or interesting. I've always been like, if I'm going to play this game, my mic is going to be off and I'm going to have my TV speakers on and that's it.
Yeah, but I like the option. I liked meeting people. I
never met any of them. Anybody. Actually, that's not true. Some of my closest friends I've met playing video games, but that was through, but it was different because it was through like Siege and you have to have it in that game.
Do you remember Halo 3? I'm sure you do.
One of the greatest games of all time.
Do you remember when you were done with the matchmaking, you can hit X to party up? It was just one button. Party up with X. If you didn't do it, you search another match.
I never played the multiplayer in that game.
You never played Halo 3 multiplayer?
I was brought up with the Call of Duty, and so I only played the Call of Duty. That's all I did.
He has a Halo tattoo on his arm.
I do have a Halo tattoo, but it's mainly because the story is amazing.
Oh my god! Who am I hosting with?
Halo. Here's the thing. I think you kind of grow up you grow up in two different households. Okay, you get the Call of Duty multiplayer people, and then you get the Halo multiplayer people.
I thought they were one and the same.
No, absolutely.
I thought people played video games.
Those games are way different.
I know, but people play more than one game.
Yeah, I know, but I never played. Well, one thing I will say, I didn't get like internet access because I lived in Sheridan, Wyoming, which didn't as a whole get internet access until a lot later. Or like good internet access. School? Yeah. So the internet was not entirely like a feasible option for where I was living at the time, and so I didn't play a whole lot of multiplayer games just in general. But whenever I went over to friends' houses. They were playing Call of Duty, not Halo. So I was playing Call of Duty with them. I just never got the opportunity.
That's crazy. So I have something similar, but when I was younger, I was playing, I don't know,
Sonic
the Hedgehog. Thank you.
Psych. Nobody played Sonic.
And Super Mario World, right?
There we go.
They're on different consoles, so let's do something different. Super Mario World and Ninja Gaiden, I don't know. Nobody was like, I'm more of a Super Mario Bros. Guy. I didn't really play Ninja Gaiden.
I played both, but I played Halo for the campaign, not for the multiplayer. Because I played more COD multiplayer.
Okay.
That's just who I was, who I am.
I believe you. Okay. But
I played, when it came out for Master Chief Collection and everything, I played the multiplayer on that.
I mean, that was like practically broken.
It was not very good. I will, obviously, but I played Infinite, played 5, 4. I didn't play a lot of the multiplayer because I didn't love that game.
I think 4 multiplayer was better than No, I'm sorry. 5 multiplayer was way better than 4.
Yeah, 5
but
multiplayer
the story
was good.
in 5 was worse than 4.
So for me, Halo's always been a story-driven.
Okay.
For me,
I can
shooter.
respect that. In Halo 3, you can hit a button to team up with someone who wanted to team up with you, and then you start talking, or you can talk before. You're like, "What's up?" And if someone sucked, you just booted them out with another button.
Yeah,
and it was social, but not so like egregious. It wasn't
right.
No one was bullying, and if someone was bullying, like, sack up.
I got that more with Rainbow Six Siege. That was when I kind of got introduced to that more than ever, because you have to have communication. If you're playing ranked, anyways, you have to have that sort of communication in that game.
That's it. So my Call of Duty days are just
they're long
over.
gone.
Like I said, if this wasn't coming to Game Pass, I would have never played it. And if I would have bought this game, holy crap, I would have been disappointed. I do like the campaign.
I bought this game. I bought skins on this game already.
But the campaign's not worth $60 or $70.
No campaign in any first-person shooter right now is probably worth $60.
Yeah,
except for maybe Wolfenstein.
I think, and Indiana Jones.
1 week from now, we will get first-person Indiana Jones made from the same people. So hopefully, it's good.
I'm actually excited for
So
that.
am I. I saw today. Story, 4 hours of cutscenes in that video game alone.
Might be a little too much.
That's it. We're also playing, I guess we're playing Metal Gear Solid 4 or whatever it was. Or no, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Metal Gear Solid
3. Sorry. Faking it here, okay? Faking it till I make it.
Snake Eater, but this one's called Delta, the new one.
Right. No, but I'm talking about the one that had there was like a movie worth of cutscenes.
Oh, that was 4.
4. That's what I thought. Yeah. That's 10 hours worth of cutscenes or something in that video game. Absurd.
It will depend.
Shout out Kojima, man. You're an idiot, but you made it a long way.
He's not an idiot. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding, Kojima. All right, I like you. I like your movie reviews. I think they're really funny sometimes. Because he'll have this super long description of a movie he went and saw that he really liked, like Furiosa, he wrote one. And then right after that, he'll post, went and saw Venom 3 in theaters. And that's the entire post. And that's how you know they're really bad. The movies are bad.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching the show. We froze for this.
Yeah, it's cold.
My fingies are numb. And now that means I'm going to go play video games. It's the best time to go play video games. You can't feel anything.
Happy Thanksgiving, too.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, shout out to the fam. I hope you have the best side, which is stuffing.
Ew. I mean, I don't want to say ew, but it's not the best. The best side.
Stuffing. I love stuffing.
It's mashed potatoes with gravy. Stuffing.
I like mashed potatoes and gravy, too, but I'll slam some stuffing. Slam it. I've been losing weight, so I don't know how much stuffing I'm going to have this year. Lots of carbs.
Make sure you have it. Everybody knows you're losing weight. You're looking freaking fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, I look better now because I'm wearing black, too. Slim.
Cheat, please.
Oh, I will. Cheesecake, pecan pie, pumpkin pie. I'm going to cheat. And I hope you cheat, too. But not in video games. Just on Thanksgiving.
I'm going to quote my good friend Deuce. If you cheat in video games, someone should shoot you in the back of the head.
Very Hitman style of him.
Yep.
Shout out Deuce, I guess.
Not so subtle.
Yeah, not so subtle at all. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys
Later.
next week.